Hi, everyone. Welcome. And thank you so much for joining me. This is Heather Lloyd Martin, and I am President and CEO of SuccessWorks SEO Copywriting. Now, if you joined us last week, you know that we talked about 3 business blogging tips for beginners. And I know a lot of folks entered 2012 and they said, this is the year that I start blogging more frequently for my company. And the 3 blogging tips we discussed last week were first to brainstorm a list of possible topics, things that you might want to write about, to loosen up when you are writing so the writing doesn't feel so much like you're back in high school and trying to write a paper for your English class. And the third tip was to work with an editor. So you always have someone checking over your work, correcting any typos or grammatical stuff. So that way you can just write and know that someone else is going to make sure that the writing is going to be perfect for the site. So while I was thinking about these blogging tips, I realized that there were definitely more than 3. So I created 3 more blogging tips, and the first one was to be really realistic around the time that you have to blog. So I know a lot of people start off and their goal is I want to blog every single workday, maybe kick out a couple posts a day. I've got a lot in my head, a lot to say. So yeah, I think that's reasonable. And the challenge is that life gets in the way and business gets in the way. And even though you might have all these great ideas in your head, by the time that you're able to actually sit down and write, then you might find that you don't have that much time to create quality writing. So think about how much time you really have to blog. And if you can only create 1 blog post a week right now, that's okay. One really good quality blog post a week is a lot better than 5 so-so blog posts that you kicked out at 11:30 at night when you were really tired but you wanted to create something. So think quality over quantity. And also consider if there's other folks within your company who can help. This one can be tricky because they need to be accountable for their blog posts. So this would become one of their normal duties. But if you have other folks available that could be good writers and have things to say, definitely see if you can bring them on board to help. The second thing to consider is scheduling your blog posts. Know exactly what you're going to write when. So we talked about last week of brainstorming possible ideas. This is where you put those brainstorms on paper and say, okay, I'm blogging twice a week, and on Wednesday's blog post, I'm going to talk about X. So that we call that in the writing world an editorial calendar, and that provides you a visual so you can look at the week, know exactly what you're going to be writing, and exactly when you're going to need to put that online. If you are just getting into blogging, be gentle with yourself. It might take a long time to write a blog post, and that's okay. Even for professional writers, it can take a very long time to write a blog post. So make sure that you give yourself that time gift and don't figure, all right, I've got 30 minutes, I can kick it out really fast. Even an experienced writer might choke in a situation like that. So if you know you have a blog post that's due in a week, it doesn't hurt to start it now. If you finish early, great. But it prevents you from having that, oh my goodness, I have to get it finished right now stress, which we've all gone through while blogging. And the third thing is to be faithful to it. If you have a blog post due on X day, make sure that you make that deadline. Make it really important to you. So you wouldn't blow a client deadline, or you wouldn't say, oh, the IRS wants their money this week. I think I'll pay them next month instead. You're very faithful to those types of deadlines. Consider your blog post the exact same thing. Once you've scheduled it, then for sure that you know a post is going to come out. And the third tip has to do around the writing. And when people start blogging, they say, well, why would I blog? Because I want to sell stuff. That's the purpose of why I have a website. I want to sell stuff. And a blog can help you sell. Now, granted, blog writing and sales writing are completely different. Blog writing, you're providing information, and it doesn't have a very heavy-handed sales tone. But at the same time, you can certainly do some soft promotion within your blog. So rather than thinking of your blog as a huge sales medium where you're talking about, and we can do this and we can do that for you, Instead, maybe come up with a general article, something that answers your customers' questions or you think would be really useful to them. And then, if it makes sense to link to your product or service within the body of the post, go for it. And it doesn't have to be really heavy handed, just if you provide some sort of maybe emergency plumbing service, then you can link to that page in the blog post. Another way you can do it is just write a straight informational blog post, and you don't necessarily have to link into another page on your site, but at the very bottom of it, you can put a little sales blurb. If you'd like to learn more about our emergency plumbing services, feel free to contact us at X. That provides you an opportunity to have a little bit of call to action, but at the same time, the integrity of the blog post, the fact that you are providing really good quality information to your readers, that stays intact. So thank you very much, everyone. If you would like to learn more about SEO copywriting, you can visit my site at seocopywriting.com. I also have a free weekly newsletter, and I let folks know about the daily blog posts. And if you have any questions, here's how to reach me, and you can always find me on Twitter at @HeatherLloyd. Thanks very much, everyone, and have a great day.